The one thing that I appreciate watching the wrestling product that we have to consume Monday and Tuesday is someone like Elias. Someone like Elias, from where we seen him in NXT, where he had really no direction, he didn't really pop and stand out like he does today. You took what the Drifter was in NXT and you thought maybe applying that to the main roster, how he would succeed. You would probably have lumped him into the category of an Adam Rose or a No Way Jose or a Ty Dillinger or a Hype Bros, an Ascension, so on and so forth. Guys who would be brought up to the main roster to fill a roster spot primarily with no direction and nothing to do. Needless to say, Elias is not anything like those guys. Elias has proved almost everyone wrong, and Elias is one of the best things on Monday Night Raw. But the one thing I appreciate, and the one thing that I love to see, just as a wrestling fan, is the organic growth of the Elias character. From what we've seen in NXT to where we see him today. When that spotlight is on him, nobody on Monday Night Raw is getting that type of genuine reaction from the crowd. It's like Elias is the puppet master of Monday Night Raw, and he's got the crowd in the palm of his hands, and everything that comes out of his mouth, they're hanging on to every single word that the man says. He can go from being beloved, and he can go from that to getting completely booed out of the building like that. That's talent. That is a great thing to see. One of the things that people have been talking about for quite some time now, and this dates back to even before WrestleMania, is what are you going to do with Elias? Is WWE stalling on Elias's push? Are they waiting for the right moment? Do they even have plans to push Elias on Monday Night Raw? Because believe it or not, when I look at Elias, I see someone who could easily carry that Intercontinental Championship and make it important. This is why I wanted so desperately for the Intercontinental Championship to be on a babyface rather than The Miz, who was a great heel in his own right, but he wasn't doing anything, or at least wasn't booked to do anything important with the Intercontinental Championship. You know, a lot of people don't understand my logic, but, you know, whether you love me or you hate me, I do know what I'm talking about. You know, The Miz didn't bring any importance to the Intercontinental Championship because actions speak louder than words. The Miz did a lot of talking while the Intercontinental Champion, but he didn't back it up in the ring. And every time The Miz was the Intercontinental Champion and had a Intercontinental Championship match, the Miztourage was always there to back him up and cheat out a victory. It's not really what I want to see as far as an Intercontinental Champion. A heel, yes. Not all the time, but a heel, yes. But as Intercontinental Champion, having those matches, those championship matches, end the same way every single time, not really what I want to see, man. This is why I push so desperately for the title to be on a babyface. Look at what Rollins is doing on Monday Night Raw. He is the very best in-ring performer on that brand, bar none. He may be the very best in-ring performer in all of WWE right now, and that includes AJ Styles. Look at what he is doing with the title. Actions are speaking louder than words. Defense after defense after defense. Gauntlet matches. Great championship matches that have you on the edge of your seat. And he always pulls out a victory. He is working his ass off. It's the working man's championship. And by that work rate, it's going to enhance the title. Because that's what the title has been all through my childhood. Whew. But then you have the title on a babyface. And what does that open up for you? It opens up the possibilities of a lot more. The Intercontinental Championship looks much better when it's on a babyface and you have a great heel going after that title. This is where Elias kind of slides on in there. With Seth Rollins not really being featured in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. With Seth Rollins right now not even having a match at Money in the Bank, and we have 3 weeks left to go before Money in the Bank. What is Seth Rollins going to do? What is Seth Rollins going to do? Who is he going to defend the Intercontinental Championship against at Money in the Bank in Chicago? There's only one name on my list that I think deserves an Intercontinental Championship match, and that is Elias. Now, I don't like the way WWE has done this, and if it does happen, we're going to have to swallow that bitter pill and realize that there really isn't much build. I don't know how much build or how much emotional investment you can put into a match like that built on 3 weeks. I would like to see these things dragged out for a little while before we get to that first championship match, and then you can kind of build the story from there. So I don't really want to see an Intercontinental Championship match impromptu, just thrown together for the sake of getting the title on the show out of nowhere. But if you're going to get Seth Rollins on the show, which there's no doubt in my mind, he's going to be on the show, he's going to have to defend that title. There's no better man than Elias right now. Elias is a perfect heel to go up against the red-hot babyface in Seth Rollins. Do you have Elias win? Probably not. I would have Elias kind of just weasel himself out of it, get frustrated during the match, use the guitar on Rollins, get a disqualification on his behalf, have Rollins still walk out the winner and the champion by disqualification, and you kind of build going into the next pay-per-view if you guys want to see that feud continue. Because the end goal here, for me anyway, would be Rollins and Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. I don't see that happening. I don't see WWE going with the creative direction that I set forth a couple of weeks ago. Champion versus champion, Lesnar versus Rollins at SummerSlam. I would love to see it. I just don't think it happens. Maybe we get Rollins and Elias all the way through SummerSlam, and then maybe Elias's first big championship victory comes at the second biggest show of the year at the Barclays Center in August, and he takes the Intercontinental Championship away from a red-hot Rollins. What stock that would be for Elias's character, rising up through the ranks in WWE. That would look so great on his resume if he's the first guy to stop the red-hot Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. And then you can have Rollins, again, begin the chase to get back that Intercontinental Championship. And even at that moment, Rollins is still going to have a few guys to contend with. Jason Jordan is looming coming back. They were tag team partners. You could throw Jordan into that mix as well. You could pick up the story and pick up right where you left off because Jordan and Rollins weren't really on the same page to begin with. Jordan can come back and kind of get in Rollins' way from getting that Intercontinental Championship match. Those two could put on some great showcase matches for us. While Rollins is kind of taking care of Jordan, he's got his eye on Elias in the Intercontinental Championship in the meantime as well. Dean Ambrose comes back, and then you got all this shit going on. You got Rollins, Ambrose, Jordan, Elias for the Intercontinental Championship. Maybe you team Dean Ambrose again with Seth Rollins, and then you start to build the betrayal angle. Of Ambrose coming back and kind of befriending Rollins, and then all of a sudden he turns his back on Seth Rollins because he wants the Intercontinental Championship. The WWE has a great mid-card awaiting them. The WWE has great names for a great mid-card and a great story on Monday Night Raw. Do they utilize these characters the right way, and do they give us compelling television? Probably not, because Monday Night Raw is fucking horrendous. And the creative writing team is fucking garbage. They don't know their fucking hand from their ass on Monday Night Raw. But I'm telling you, if Seth Rollins has nothing to do at Money in the Bank, I'd say put him against Elias and begin this little journey on through the summer. If Rollins is not really going to be challenging for the Universal Championship, maybe we start getting Rollins and Elias built on through the summer, and then you start adding supporting characters to really make that mid-card on Monday Night Raw really stand out and give them, and that show something to actually invest time in. I'd love to see it. And I think that would be the perfect way to begin Seth Rollins' summer and start planning out his summer months on Monday Night Raw. Now, the reason why I said this and the reason why I made this a talking point to open the show this week is because not only does Seth Rollins not have an opponent right now for Money in the Bank, the same can be said for Jeff Hardy. Looking over the card, the number of matches, with 2 of those being ladder matches, the men's and the women's, that should be finalized by the end of this coming week. However, with reports emerging over the past week that WWE has informed broadcasters that their pay-per-views will now run longer than advertised, which we reported yesterday on Off the Script, is expected that WWE will still add more contests to the exciting event. This is coming from GiveMeSport.com. This topic was recently highlighted on the Wrestling Observer newsletter as well, with the source claiming that the event could end up having 8 or 9 matches in total, with the event running longer than usual, with a Jeff Hardy United States Championship match along with a Seth Rollins Intercontinental Championship match. Not yet announced, but probably will be put on the card to take place in Chicago. Both men not featured on the card right now. Both men not even featured in the ladder match. For the men's side right now, it's still thought that they are going to compete at the event in some way because this event right now is part of the Big Four. Money in the Bank is now part of the Big Four, and they have a takeover event accompanying this event, so it is definitely one of the biggest shows of the year. It's just too big for Rollins and Hardy to miss out on, especially Seth Rollins, being that he's the hottest name in all of WWE. According to both of these sources, Rollins could have one of 2 superstars from Monday Night Raw challenge him for the Intercontinental Championship. Based on the pushes that they're getting on Monday Night Raw, it's thought that either Baron Corbin or Elias could be given the Intercontinental Championship opportunity at Money in the Bank. Elias more so than Corbin. I feel like Corbin made it to Monday Night Raw and they kind of hit the reset button with him. He's been in nothing but, throwaway matches and throwaway segments on Monday Night Raw with No Way Jose. That really doesn't equal Intercontinental Championship match. Meanwhile, Elias, we've been stuck with Elias and Bobby Roode to no end on Monday Night Raw 4 weeks in a row. Elias has not been able to get away from Bobby Roode. I don't know why they booked this match 4 weeks in a row. Ever since the shakeup, neither man has had a different opponent since the shakeup, and that's really depressing, and that just goes to lazy creative writing. Elias is red hot right now. He's always been red hot. Like I told you in the beginning, the guy has everybody on the tips of his fingers. He is the puppet master, and Elias gets genuine, natural reaction that really you don't see in the WWE, especially today on Monday Night Raw. And nobody would complain if Elias gets a title shot against Seth Rollins. The only thing I don't like about Elias, I always go back to the John Cena match that he had, I believe, on Christmas Day. And I think they fought once before that as well. And they kind of mixed it up at WrestleMania. Elias is not really a quote-unquote ring general. When you put Elias in the ring with someone who really isn't a good worker, it kind of falls on Elias, and he is not really made to look good. I don't think Elias is at that level where he's going to be able to lead a match. And I know that I've watched this occur with not only him, but a few different guys. They're not ring generals. When you put someone in the ring with someone who could legitimately wrestle, that guy, like an AJ Styles, is going to make the entire match that much better, and he's going to bring his opponent to a great match. John Cena is not a ring general. Case in point, his match with Roman Reigns at No Mercy was fucking dreadful. Elias and John Cena, they didn't have a good match. They didn't just mix it up well at all. They didn't have any chemistry. Seth Rollins is as good as anybody on the roster right now, so if you put Elias in the ring with Seth Rollins, there's no doubt in my mind that Seth Rollins is going to bring Elias to a great match. The Miz isn't all that great, but The Miz was brought to a great match because of how great Seth Rollins is, and they complemented each other well. I think the same could be said if you put Rollins in the ring with Elias. Now, Corbin, on the other hand, was speculated to have a significant push on Monday Night Raw. He is apparently a favorite of Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon wanted him on Monday Night Raw. They wanted to push Baron Corbin on Raw, and that has not happened yet. While that hasn't happened, this match could be the catalyst in which it elevates him to the main event scene, with Rollins arguably being the best superstar on Monday Night Raw right now. Same thing could be said with Baron Corbin. He's not really a ring general, but he's had great matches with AJ Styles. And I think the same could be said if he puts on a match with Seth Rollins, whether it happens at Money in the Bank or further down the line. Hardy, has a few more options after failing on 2 occasions to qualify for Money in the Bank. The same source has claimed that the obvious choice is the loser of the Samoa Joe versus Daniel Bryan match, which takes place next week, and the winner ending up taking the final spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match. I talked about this on my SmackDown Live review, and we're getting Bryan and Joe, and the right winner on Tuesday, in my eyes, is Samoa Joe. Because I would not want to see Samoa Joe lose. I would not want to see Samoa Joe. It just makes sense storyline-wise. I would not want to see Samoa Joe lose after already threatening to take the WWE Championship away from AJ Styles. He's already confronted and threatened AJ Styles on SmackDown Live. So the right thing to do is to put Joe in the Money in the Bank ladder match and have him at least attempt to win Money in the Bank, and then set his eyes on AJ Styles. If you have Joe lose against Bryan, what is he going to do? You're going to throw him in an impromptu United States Championship match, so he's going to go from threatening the WWE Champion to fighting for the United States Championship? It doesn't make any sense. There's just no logic there. At least if Bryan loses, Joe's in Money in the Bank. He can do what he needs to do. Bryan could go against Hardy, like I mentioned, and it wouldn't even have to be on Daniel Bryan. Hardy can come out and say, listen, I'm not booked for the show. You know, we had something good on SmackDown Live. I feel like I can beat you. I'm going to even put the United States Championship on the line. And you have a friendly one-on-one match for the United States Championship at Money in the Bank. Now, it's definitely going to be one of those two guys. I'm not sure who else you could do, unless you want to throw Almas and Hardy on the card for Money in the Bank. Almas has come out and stated, and Zelina Vega has even said it, where's the opponents? Where's the competition on SmackDown Live? You know, if we don't get some competition, we're going to take over. That could be an opening as well for Almas to pretty much do what he wants to do and stake out a United States Championship match. All he has to do is come in and beat down Jeff Hardy on a random SmackDown Live, ask for a United States Championship match, and we got Almas versus Jeff Hardy at Money in the Bank. That's another option that WWE could visit, but I think it may be too soon for that. And I would rather save that for SummerSlam. So you definitely have some options for not only Seth Rollins, but you have options for Jeff Hardy as well, more so for Jeff Hardy. Now, Bryan and Hardy are two big names that the fans would not mind seeing go one-on-one again. You know, Joe and Hardy, two names, Joe and Bryan, rather, are two names that I don't think either of those men, the WWE Universe, would mind taking on Hardy for the United States Championship. But like I said, Bryan making more sense than Joe at this point. Even if Bryan did end up beating him in a second chance qualifying match earlier this week. More so, outside of the box here, Almas is another one that I mentioned. Despite him only squashing local guys in the last 2 weeks, he's appeared on SmackDown Live. Zelina Vega has pretty much stated that they want to take over SmackDown Live, and you could throw him right into the mix as well, and it would make sense, but it might be too soon. Considering many fans wanted to push him right off the bat by sticking him in the Money in the Bank ladder match, having his first marquee feud against Jeff Hardy with a title on the line wouldn't be a bad pay-per-view debut for Mr. Almas. So I'd love to see it eventually, but like I said, it may be too soon for Andrade Cien Almas. That is where I am right now with both the Intercontinental Championship and the United States Championship. That's one of the big stories we got on Off the Script today for your Saturday Memorial Day weekend, man. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support. We're going to hit more news and rumors. Plus, I got a Wrestle Crate unboxing right next to me, man. And the box is bigger than usual. I wonder what's in it, man. Maybe they listen to me. I don't know. But this is episode 223. This is part number 2 for your Saturday. I'm going to hit this unboxing. We're going to hit the intro, and I'll be right back with more news and rumors right here on the #1 professional wrestling podcast right here on YouTube.com. This is Off the Script. Off this shitty fucking product by coming on here and speaking the fucking goddamn truth about this fucking filth.
I can book a better show taking a fucking dump after eating my fucking Chipotle chorizo with extra cheese!
I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Have I ever? Of course not.
WWE is great, man! Fuck you, Japan, and Kenny Omega, Okada. Delete! What is it, Vince? Can I suck your dick? What is it, Vince?
Well, this is the #1 fucking podcast.
Right here on YouTube.com! This
Is off the script. Man, oh man, I hope you guys are enjoying the start of your Memorial Day weekend. I'm not. I got nothing to do. I'm here working for you guys. Because without this podcast, I don't know what you guys would listen to this weekend while you're on the beach and you're popping open a nice Corona and you're slicing a lime and you're dropping that motherfucker right in the bottle, bruh. What wrestling podcast are you going to listen to? You're going to listen to some fucking idiot who doesn't know what he's talking about, or you're going to listen to Off the Script? That's right, you're going to listen to Off the Script, man. Anyway, thank you guys so much for all your continued love and support. If you missed part number 1, part number 1 is live on the channel right now. We go over a bunch of stuff in part 1, almost 2 hours long for Off the Script, man. You gotta go watch it. Is WWE ending the brand split? What does this mean when SmackDown Live moves over to Fox 5 with this $1 billion television deal? Does Fox want bigger name superstars from Monday Night Raw to come over to SmackDown Live? Will WWE end the brand split? Who do they want? What does this mean for the television product? More importantly, what does this mean for the pay-per-views on WWE Network, man? Are they going to have more importance, or are they going to be treated as less important shows? We discuss all that plus so much more in part 1. Go and check it out. Link will be linked in the exclamation point, that annotation that you see in the top right corner. Go and check it out. Leave a thumbs up and show some support right here for part 1 of Off the Script. In yesterday's video, we also did a Pro Wrestling Crate unboxing, and I have another unboxing for you because that's what we do here. But this time I got Wrestle Crate, and it's bigger than normal, man. It's not like the size of a fucking personal pan pizza box. Thin and weak. This one looks like to have some weight to it. It's got some thickness to it. So we're going to open this bad boy right now, man. If you guys enjoy what you see in here, which I'm going to be honest with you, man, because that's what I am here. I'm always honest. Wrestle Crate really hasn't stepped up to the plate as far as That Wrestling Club and Pro Wrestling Crate. I'm hoping they come out and hit a home run this month. But if you like what you see here, you got to go to @WrestleCrateUSA on Twitter, and then you're going to go to WrestleCrate.com. If you do like what you see here and you do want to sign up for their subscription service, whether you have kids or you want it for yourself, if you want a birthday gift or whatever gift for somebody, a wrestling fan that you may know, WrestleCrate.com, choose your subscription, and you're going to enter the code JDSENTME, all capital letters, JDSENTME, for 10% off your first purchase. I want to thank WrestleCrate, as always, for sponsoring the show once a month, for sending me these crates to unbox for you guys to push their product. Let's open this thing up, man. Let's see what's in here. I hope we got something good in here, man. It looks like I smell an action figure. Or maybe a Funko Pop. I could use a Jake the Snake Funko Pop. Man, oh man, I hate being right. I hate being right, bro. Yeah, I didn't have it for myself, but now I got it. I needed him for the collection, bro. Jake the Snake Roberts. And it looks great, man. And speaking of Funko Pop, this has nothing to do with Jake the Snake, by the way. I did pre-order the Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Cody Rhodes Funko Pop from Pro Wrestling Tees for a $60 value on their website. It was a steal. They're going to be worth so much more money, and I can't wait to see what they look like in person, man. But Jake the Snake, I love this shit, man. This makes the whole box of me right here. I love it. I love collecting these fucking things. I don't know what it is about them, but, you know, it's great. What do we got here, man? White t-shirt that I'll probably never wear out because I don't wear white anywhere. It's always a dark color. Oh my God. Of course they had to capitalize on this. Titus Catering World Slide. Look. Oh my goodness. The greatest Royal Tumble. I'm not a fan of Titus O'Neil, and I'm definitely not wearing that out. But whatever, man. Can we get over the fact that he was a fucking idiot and tripped on his own feet and almost killed himself at the Greatest Royal Rumble? Okay, moving on. This is fucking awesome, man. This is fucking awesome. This brings me back to the old school days, man. There was no better heel back in the day than fucking Shawn Michaels with Sensational Sherry. There was nobody who did it better, man. That theme music is so iconic. Look at that, man. The Heartbreak Kid from Lapel Yeah. Custom pin. I'm sure you can only get this in Wrestle Crate, man. That's fucking awesome. That is awesome. What do we got here, man? Ooh. We got a Hornswoggle autograph. Not really a big fan of Hornswoggle, but he was also in the Greatest Royal Rumble. And he is the king of small style, apparently. There you go, man. And finally, what do we got here? Another issue 2, squared circle of Nikolai. Something I'll probably never read, but it's there. Whatever. That's your Wrestle Crate, man. The Funko Pop made it for me. I love it, man. Jake the Snake Roberts. WrestleCrate.com. And then you guys can visit them on Twitter at WrestleCrateUSA. So make sure you guys go over there, show them some support. And if you guys like what you see, JD sent me for 10% off your first purchase. You guys can go to barbershopwindow.com and enter the coupon code that you're going to see right pop up when you visit the online store, man. When you enter barbershopwindow.com in your browser, you're going to get automatic money off whatever the fuck you want to order, man. I don't know what the code is. I think they changed the code. But I know that you could save money on my t-shirts if you go to Wrestle. No, not Wrestle. I got fucking Wrestle Crate on my mind. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. It may be BShop20. I know they're having Memorial Day sales all through Pro Wrestling Tees on ProWrestlingTees.com. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing for Barbershop Window because they're all affiliated. They're all under the same umbrella. If you guys want to get your t-shirts, man, there are 4 right there, 15 in total, and it's a great way to support the podcast. That is barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Harry's. You guys continue to tweet me. You guys continue to be impressed by Harry's, man. The best shave of your life. Harry's.com/script for your free trial shave set. You're going to get a handle, a blade. You're going to get the foaming shave gel, and you're going to get the razor blade protective case. All you guys have to do is go to Harry's.com/script. Guarantee it to be the best shave of your life, and whatever the fuck you got in your medicine cabinet in your bathroom is going right in the trash. As soon as that blade hits your face and you realize, oh my God, Harry's is the best fucking shave I've ever had, man. So please enter that into your browsers, man. Harrys.com/script, and you're going to pay $2 or $3 for shipping and handling, and you're going to get a nice, beautiful presentation right in your mailbox, and Harry's is going to be with you for the duration for all your shaving needs, man. So make sure you do that. Great way to support the show. And finally, my friends over at Audible still supporting the podcast, man. audibletrial.com/offthescript. They want to give you 1 month free of their service and 1 free audio book of your choice. Those are 5 wrestling books there that you guys can choose from. Over 190,000 choices to choose from. And if you guys realize that, listen, Audible's not for me, you guys can cancel within the 30-day grace period and get to keep your audio book on the house for free, and you will not be charged. So please, audibletrial.com/offthescript. And if you guys have already signed up for Harry's or Audible, you guys can tell a friend, man. Tell a family member, a coworker, a colleague at work, a school, a classmate. You know, you guys are graduating soon. You guys can tell a classmate. You guys can tell your girlfriend's parents, whomever, man. Whoever you come across that is a wrestling fan, give them the gift of Audible, courtesy of Off the Script. That's audibletrial.com/offthescript. Follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. And like I said, if you guys missed any of my previous videos, links will be in the annotation that you see up top in the top right corner. Please show your support. Let's get on with the news, man. Let's get on with the news. We have news on WWE. Most notably, Vince McMahon resurrecting a push for a SmackDown Live superstar that seemingly has gone away. Now, who am I talking about? She defeated Billie Kay on SmackDown Live to advance into the Money in the Bank women's ladder match. Why? I don't know. When I look at Lana, do I see ladders? Do I see brutality? Do I see someone who is going to win Money in the Bank? No, no, no. Lana is a pretty face. Lana is a valet. Lana is a diva who stars on Total Divas. When I look at that ladder match and I look at the landscape of Charlotte and Becky and Naomi and Alexa, Ember Moon, you put Lana in there, doesn't really make any sense. So I don't really like Lana being in Money in the Bank. You know, Billie Kay ain't that much better. I would have much rather Peyton Royce be in the match, but of the two, I would have rather seen Billie Kay in Money in the Bank. But Lana is about to get a resurrection of a push on SmackDown Live. There is speculation that Lana could be brought into the fold to make Rusev Day alongside Aiden English and her husband Rusev. While the most recent rumors have suggested that Rusev Day and the act is coming to an end, which I have news on, with Rusev turning on Aiden English in the end. If the latter is to happen, it's being claimed that Rusev will revert back to his monstrous ways with Lana by his side as his manager. An act which saw them become very popular in the run into WrestleMania 31, but that was ages ago, and you know, being that he lost to John Cena, it ultimately ruined his career. And then he was ultimately fed to Roman Reigns, and that ruined his career again. The League of Scrubs, or the League of Nations, was formed, and they were only formed to appease the Roman agenda. We all know this. I don't have to repeat myself. Everything that WWE has done for Roman, it has failed to get him over with the fans. And by fail, I mean, you know, try and get him cheers from the crowd. Rusev was a part of that, and Rusev is one of the names that they put in front of Roman, and it failed. So, believe me or not, it's the truth. But if the latter is to happen, he's going to go back to his monster ways with Lana as his manager or valet, an act which saw them become popular at WrestleMania 31, and it's something the fans have been calling for before Rusev Day was even a thing. Now, why they took Lana away from Rusev, I don't know, but at this point, I really don't mind, because Rusev and his charisma and his character was able to shine through. So I don't really mind that much. I don't really mind that much at all. Rusev will try his luck to become Mr. Money in the Bank next month as he defeated Daniel Bryan, somewhat clean. I mean, Aiden English was out there and he interfered in the match, but Rusev, you know, pinned Daniel Bryan with a Machka kick, and Lana, surprisingly, beat Billie Kay, and she advanced to her Money in the Bank ladder match. Understandably, plenty of eyebrows were raised when the inexperienced Lana was booked to compete in the ladder match opposed to someone who's more experienced. Since then, it's been revealed that Lana is practicing taking bumps from a ladder despite there being concern from fans. There's no concern on me. I just don't want to see someone like that who is very beautiful in her own right and really embodies the diva mentality more so than the WWE wrestler mentality. I don't want to see someone like that in such a dangerous match. I'd rather see a professional wrestler. Lana is not a professional wrestler. Now, however, it's been revealed that WWE is pushing Lana heavily because of Vince McMahon himself. This is why she's set to either become a huge part again of Rusev Day, or become that popular figure alongside the Bulgarian Brute, which saw her popularity skyrocket. Now, sources have added that the big push doesn't necessarily mean she's going to have a massive in-ring future. It's just that her popularity combined with the victories means she's always going to be over. Now, other sources have claimed, and this is according to Wrestling Observer Newsletter and Dave Meltzer. Obviously, Meltzer knows what he's talking about here in this particular statement. And I quote, "I mean, she sucks in the ring, but she's over." And the fans love her, so when she comes out and she wins, she's over. She's a great package with Rusev. You know, that's where she should be. Not every woman on the roster needs to wrestle. And that's my thoughts exactly. End quote there. Not every woman on the roster needs to wrestle. End quote. Considering Vince is a big fan, it shouldn't be a massive surprise that he's personally going to give her yet another push to reach the same levels of popularity she once enjoyed, while the fans also showed their appreciation on a weekly basis. Why she was even taken from Rusev's side to begin with is ridiculous to me. Seems like WWE's correcting a wrong here more so than just kind of booking things on the fly. They realize that Lana, away doing her own thing away from Rusev really isn't doing anything. It's just stupid to see Lana not associated with Rusev on television when they're a married couple on Total Divas. And have you noticed Lana getting rid of the Russian accent? Which, it kills all fucking signs of kayfabe. Why even put her on Total Divas and have her get rid of the accent and then go to SmackDown Live and have the accent? It doesn't make any fucking sense. Now, I know most of the people watching Total Divas really aren't watching SmackDown Live, or a very, very small percentage of that audience is watching SmackDown Live, but, you see clips all over the fucking place. WWE shows clips on their shows. And in these clips, Lana doesn't have a fucking accent. Where'd the accent go? Did it automatically just disappear? Did she go to Hogwarts and Harry Potter fucking performed a spell on Lana to get rid of the accent? Where'd it go? So now all of a sudden she's kind of leaning away from that accent on television, week by week. Before you know it, she's not going to have any accent on television. And then people are going to be asking, well, what happened? But why she was moved away from Rusev, I feel like this is just WWE correcting a mistake that was long overdue to be corrected. Now, she's not winning Money in the Bank. I would not have her win Money in the Bank. I wouldn't even have Rusev win Money in the Bank. But you can have Rusev have a great showcase at Money in the Bank. He doesn't need to win it. I think that's going to The Miz. And I think that should be The Miz's match to win. Because Lana and Rusev aren't going to play into any storyline. You're not going to give Rusev the Money in the Bank because you think he deserves it. You got to think greater picture here. What is the one storyline that could carry SmackDown Live through the rest of the year into WrestleMania? That's how you book your show. And that's where The Miz comes in. Miz wins Money in the Bank and makes Daniel Bryan's life a living hell. And you continue that storyline of Daniel Bryan not being able to reach that height he once had. Because The Miz is always going to be there. And when The Miz finds the right opportunity, break Daniel Bryan's heart, and you build that feud into WrestleMania next year. And you guys got yourself something that's going to carry SmackDown Live on Tuesday nights for the rest of 2018. Speaking of Rusev, with Lana now being positioned to join Rusev once again, is Rusev Day going to be over? Are they going to turn on Aiden English? Are they going to go back to being full-fledged heels instead of this in-between bullshit? Now, it could be argued that Rusev might be one of the unluckiest superstars on the WWE roster, despite Rusev Day and the act possibly being the most popular gimmick on television. Him selling merchandise all over the place. Rusev Day shirts selling out all over the place. Fortunately for Rusev, he's proven time and time again that he's perhaps the most versatile individual in all of WWE, whether he's a destructive Russian monster or playing a comedy character with perfectly timed jokes. The fact that he can be a success in multiple roles suggests that he's a vital asset to the company. However, it does seem like he's been sabotaged numerous times throughout his career on the main roster for whatever reason. First, the company thought Lana was too popular for him and broke the duo up. Then there were rumors that Lana could be added into the fold to make Rusev Day into a trio with Aiden English. Now another change could be coming to his gimmick, and WWE fans will undoubtedly be having contrasting views on their plans, and this is according to Cage Side Seats. Rather than amending the Rusev character, they're claiming that the whole Rusev Day gimmick will be over very soon. According to sources, the supposed plan, according to Cage Side Seats, is that Rusev will soon turn on English and wipe out the former vaudevillain from Rusev Day, thus allowing him to return to playing a ruthless character which will end the popular Rusev Day references. They added that in this scenario, Lana will return, like we just talked about, as her role for Rusev's valet, like she was before WWE made the strange decision to pair her with Dolph Ziggler and dress her in jean, jackets and jean skirts which was fucking utterly ridiculous. And then they paired Rusev with Summer Rae. Ruru. God, that was awful television. It's no secret that WWE fans absolutely love the Rusev Day gimmick. It's all over social media. It blew up out of nowhere, and it's a chant that we're guaranteed to hear on a weekly basis, no matter what WWE is doing, which is arguably the loudest of the night wherever you go. I went to a Ring of Honor show a couple of months ago in March, and Rusev Day chants were happening at the Ring of Honor show. Tell me the guy's not fucking over? However, it's also clear that there is only so much Rusev can achieve with that gimmick. On the flip side, many thought a destructive Rusev is one that is more likely to become a WWE champion. Possibly so. Something that could have happened last year as a monster heel instead of awarding the modern-day failure Raha, Jinder, who should have never been champion, the WWE title. If Rusev is to reach his potential in the WWE, then it seems more likely to occur as a heel. So fans will need to decide whether they'd be upset at Rusev Day coming to an end, or celebrating that heel Rusev everyone grew to love in the build-up to WrestleMania 31 will be embraced again. Here's the thing, though. Here's the kicker. This is WWE and stereotypical WWE. Wanting to do something that they think is better for the gimmick and the character, but the fans not, necessarily won't agree with. You think by taking something away from Rusev, you think it's going to make the fans happy? If you take something as popular as Rusev Day away from Rusev, don't you think the fans are going to react to that accordingly anyway? You don't think that's going to be Rusev Day chants all over the place? When Rusev's entrance comes out, and he makes his entrance and the theme music goes off and he's in the ring during the matches, you don't think they're going to be chanting Rusev Day? Of course they're going to be chanting Rusev Day. You got to be out of your fucking mind. And these fans nowadays are not stupid. These fans nowadays are very vengeful. These fans are very much dedicated to a certain thing. If they attach themselves emotionally enough to something, they're not going to let it go. Case in point, everybody wants to see CM Punk back in the WWE, including this guy here. Will it happen? Probably not. I'm going to say eventually they all come back. CM Punk walked away, how many years ago? 6 years ago? And his name is still being chanted everywhere in displeasure of the WWE product, because when they envision displeasure, they envision CM Punk. And CM Punk is still very much wanted. And don't tell me that CM Punk won't move the needle on WWE television. He certainly will. I mean, he sold out meet and greet at Pro Wrestling Tees for the All-In weekend in 59 seconds. I couldn't even fucking breathe to get tickets, and that shit was sold out. Because I'm going to be in Chicago during All-In. So, CM Punk is definitely the only guy left in this business that's going to move the needle that the WWE currently doesn't have on their roster. Maybe the Bullet Club, but I'm not associated with the Bullet Club coming into WWE. In fact, if I'm those guys, I'm not even coming to the WWE. But, like I said, you're going to take something away from these fans, the fans are going to revolt and speak even louder. So, Rusev Day, in WWE's eyes, they may pull the plug. But in the fans' eyes, it would never go away. So, you can make Rusev into a monster. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be, portrayed on television. That doesn't necessarily mean that what the fans see is going to be heel. They're going to look at this guy who's an in-betweener. They're going to look at another guy who's trying to be portrayed as a monster heel doing dastardly things. Meanwhile, he's getting all this fucking cheering and he's getting all this praise from the fans. It's going to look stupid. But I do agree with one thing that the sources from Cage Side Seats said. More so successful. I'd like to see Rusev successful as a heel, and I think as a heel he would ascend greater heights in WWE compared to what we're seeing with Rusev Day. Now, if WWE pulled the trigger on Rusev Day to win the tag team championships or maybe a United States championship, maybe we would have a different interpretation of what we're seeing with Rusev. But like, again, the source added, and it's plain to see. Anybody could watch the show and see it. If you're in the know here in the wrestling community and you read the dirt sheets like we all do, Rusev has definitely been sabotaged. Rusev has definitely been sabotaged on WWE television. But Lana's coming back to the fold. He's going to be with Lana again is Rusev. Rusev Day may be over, but that may just extend to Aiden English being out of the group. Will Rusev Day die? Probably not. It's too over. The WWE has something that's way too over now that's been built up organically. It's just not going to go away unless you take Rusev off TV completely like they did with Ty Dillinger. But Rusev's going to be a monster. Lana's going to be with him. Aiden English is going to be out of the picture. And Rusev Day, in WWE's eyes, may be a thing of the past. Is CM Punk all in? I certainly hope so, because I'm going to be there. Despite not being in WWE anymore, credit has to go to Cody Rhodes for what he's been able to achieve on the independent scene since his departure. He's done excellent work for promotions such as Ring of Honor and New Japan, but his contributions alongside the Young Bucks has seen the All-In event become a reality, with 10,000 tickets being sold in 29 minutes for their Super Show in September. Fittingly, given the tagline, the biggest independent wrestling show ever, it becomes no surprise that some huge names have been confirmed for the event, such as Kenny Omega, Kazuchika Okada, Rey Mysterio, and many others. However, it's the potential appearance of one former WWE champion that has everybody excited, especially since the event is taking place in his hometown of Chicago. Although there still aren't any details of the event being televised, which I assume it will be, his potential appearance still has fans buzzing. Ever since the venue was confirmed, there have been rumblings that CM Punk would make a special appearance, which would mark his return to professional wrestling. By this time, when the events take place, CM Punk will either have picked up his first win in the UFC or a consecutive second loss as he prepares to battle Mike Jackson at UFC 225, also taking place in Chicago. Jen Sturger, who was hosting the press conference for All In, let it slip during an interview on the Collider Body Slam podcast that former WWE champion was apparently backstage during the All In press conference, suggesting that he would make his pro wrestling return at the event. According to Ryan Satin in Pro Wrestling Sheet, she said, "If you got your tickets at face value for the event, I'm just saying it literally might be the best in the world. I will only say someone wearing sweatpants and training for something walked into the back of the building that the press conference was in, with marks, mind you, lining the entire sidewalk in front of the building, and I kept thinking, if they knew you were back here, they would literally tear down the front of the store." There is a signing set to take place before the event that Punk, originally from Chicago, has Sturger believing would make perfect sense for the former WWE star to be there. He's got the signing at Pro Wrestling Tees headquarters, so having him be at All In is not out of the realm of possibility. She added, and I quote, "What better way, if you're going to make your return to wrestling, than the biggest indie show ever?" End quote. All In has CM Punk written all over it. Not just because it's in Chicago. That's the obvious. But All In stands for everything that CM Punk is for. Punk, he walked away from WWE because of frustrations. He didn't need WWE. And All In is a non-WWE event, and the Bullet Club have done things in the world of indie wrestling to where you don't even need the WWE, and they're showcasing you don't need to go to the big companies. You don't need to go to the big machine that Vince McMahon is running in order to be successful. Look at what we've accomplished. I'm not saying everybody's going to be able to achieve that height, but look at what we've accomplished. So whatever, motivation and whatever work ethic that the Bullet Club and the Elite have showcased in setting this event up and getting everything ready to go, that is CM Punk. That is everything he stands for. So why wouldn't he be there? It makes perfect sense for him to be there. And if you watch Being the Elite, the Young Bucks have said time and time again that every week they are in communication with CM Punk. So you know that there's communication there about coming in, being there, making an appearance, cut a promo, not necessarily saying that he's going to wrestle. I'm keeping my fingers crossed on that one. What a main event that would be. Can you imagine CM Punk versus Kenny Omega in the main event of All In? My God, man. My goodness. What a return to professional wrestling that would be. But I love what the Elite and the Bullet Club have done with the All In marketing and everything around it. Look at how successful it was, man. Punk was going to be associated with this thing even if he wasn't there. His name was always going to be talked about leading up to this event. Obviously they want Punk there. Obviously he's going to be in and around the festivities, so it's leading to speculation that he's going to be there. But it would have been easy to have CM Punk come on in to All In. Because with CM Punk on the bill, never mind 10,000, you could have did 20,000, probably more. You got to appreciate the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes and everybody involved in this to not have CM Punk's name on the headline, and they sold the show out on their own with just the inclusion of their friends. This thing was sold out in 29 minutes without CM Punk's name in the headline. That would have been too easy. So you got to appreciate the strategic, planning that these guys have put into this event. I hope Punk is there. I'm going to be there. I hope everybody involved is going to be there. I hope to give the finger to WWE, he's going to be there. But is he going to be there? If I was a betting man, I'd say yes, he's going to show up. I'd say he'd be there in some capacity, a promo. He'd probably address the audience. The crowd's going to fucking tear the building down. It's going to be a night to remember. You're going to have the moniker of the greatest independent wrestling show of all time? Outside of what you're seeing in the indies right now, who's the biggest name not signed to WWE? Phil Brooks. You're going to get him at All In. I think he's going to be there, and I think it's going to be great to see, and it's going to be one of the most talked about things in the entire year for professional wrestling. Update on Big Cass. Big Cass, obviously SmackDown Live superstar. He came back from an ACL injury. 9 months he was out. And now the injury may have re-aggravated again. Big Cass suffered a heartbreaking ACL tear over the last several months last year when he was getting started on his singles push when they broke him away from Enzo Amore. The injury was so bad that Cass couldn't finish the match and he had to be helped to the back of the arena to be evaluated. It was later revealed that he tore his ACL and would be out for an extended amount of time. He was finally able to return just days after WrestleMania 34, by the way, of the Superstar Shakeup, where he was moved to to SmackDown Live from Monday Night Raw. Right off the bat, Cass started a feud with Daniel Bryan. It looked as though Vince was pushing Cass against Bryan to get him ready for a monster heel turn. Cass would fall out of favor a bit with WWE officials, however, against Vince McMahon's wishes during a SmackDown Live segment, which featured a mini-me Daniel Bryan being beat up by Big Cass, and Big Cass kind of went off the script, no pun intended, during that SmackDown Live segment. Cass wanted to do more, and he asked Vince McMahon's permission to do more. They turned him down, and he went against Vince McMahon's orders. It was only supposed to be a big boot, but Big Cass did the big boot, and then he got on the ground and started punching the guy left and right. So that obviously didn't sit well with WWE management. As a result, not only did Big Cass lose his match to Daniel Bryan at Backlash via tap out, he was also not used on that following Tuesday SmackDown Live. Recently, Bryan and Cass have continued their feud on WWE TV and seem to have been building up to another match. However, Cass was scheduled to take on Samoa Joe for a shot at qualifying for Money in the Bank. It looks like Cass may have suffered another injury during WWE's recent European tour. However, as he has been limping during a lot in his last few matches. Some people believed he was simply working a fake injury that he suffered after being attacked by Daniel Bryan on SmackDown, but Cass has been pulled from his Money in the Bank qualifying match against Samoa Joe on SmackDown Live. WWE, as we've seen this past week, set up Jeff Hardy versus Daniel Bryan, with Bryan winning, and Bryan going on to fighting Joe this coming Tuesday in the main event to qualify for Money in the Bank. SmackDown Live General Manager Paige made the announcement on Twitter and revealed Daniel Bryan, Jeff Hardy will happen instead in a second chance match. Winner will take on Samoa Joe to advance into Money in the Bank. So it looks like Big Cass's injury not only is legit, but it also adds a dose, I'm trying to look at this in a positive way, a dose of unpredictability on SmackDown Live. I think actually enhances the storyline going into Money in the Bank. So I'm not really going to mind it. I don't want to see anybody injured. I don't want to see Big Cass injured, especially being that he just worked his ass off to get back to WWE for the 9 months that he was out. So I'm hearing that he might be out another 6 months, and he may miss SummerSlam. Terrible timing for Big Cass. But there's a reason why Cass might have had backstage heat, and X-Pac, Sean Waltman, gave a great insight as to why Big Cass might have had backstage heat with Vince McMahon. Now, it turns out that Big Cass was simply supposed to hit this mini Daniel Bryan with a big boot and be done with things, like I just mentioned. Despite asking permission to do more and getting denied by Vince McMahon himself, Cass went against Vince McMahon and did it anyway. Now, since then, he has reportedly had a ton of backstage heat. He was pulled from SmackDown Live. He was pulled from Money in the Bank. And Sean Waltman recently took to his podcast, X-Pac 12360, to comment on the matter. His response was perfect, as he detailed exactly why Cass is in trouble with WWE and why it's different from the stuff he and the Clique did during their run in the 90s. And I quote, this is a very, very good outlook on this. We have a saying in pro wrestling, and it's just not in our industry. It's better to say sorry than ask for permission. But if you're going to go with that approach, you can't go ahead and ask for permission and then get told no. And it seems like that's the case here. And that's just absolutely fucking insane. Look, a lot of us have gone against the grain and done things that the company doesn't like, but we never really went and asked for permission, but specifically told no, and then went ahead and did it anyway on live TV. So I understand if you feel the need, you want to go out there and get over. But man, you can't be asking for permission and then going against your boss's orders. Very good outlook on that, man. I read that and I'm like, I have to associate this with the Big Cass injury update. I think that's a beautiful outlook on that. And, you know, it might have still landed Big Cass in the doghouse, but it wouldn't have been as bad as people are reporting it to be. You know, why would you want to go against Vince McMahon? Why would you want to ask permission of Vince McMahon, him tell you no, and then you go out there and do it anyway? It's like you don't even fucking care. You're defying Vince McMahon. You know, we may say shit about Vince McMahon here and there, but he's still your boss. But if Cass didn't ask for permission, went out there and kind of took it into his own hands and wanted to get over and show that he was hungry instead of defying the boss, it might have come off looking a little bit better. Bad, but looking a little bit better. But I thought that was great insight from X-Pac on his podcast. I don't know what else to talk about here, man. I don't really have many other stories leading into tomorrow's part 3, but I want to end with this. Being that this was a big talking point for WWE, and it's a big talking point even now, especially I've been making it a big talking point. Tag team wrestling is dead. Tag team wrestling is not really the same. The same feeling isn't there. You know, WWE put so many resources, even though the tag team division was, 1, 2, 3 teams at most. With the New Day and the Usos on SmackDown Live, it felt important. You know, you had 2 teams who were at the very best in their division, fighting over the tag team championships inside Hell in a Cell. It was a great thing to see. WWE with the Superstar Shakeup, and following WrestleMania 34, we always see these call-ups from NXT. Authors of Pain made their main roster debut on Monday Night Raw. Squashed whoever they were in the ring with. They told Paul Ellering this is a chapter that they're going to write on their own without him. WWE on SmackDown Live introduced Sanity, former NXT Tag Team Champions. AOP, former Tag Team Champions as well. But Sanity, promoted on SmackDown Live to bring their chaotic nature to the blue brand on Tuesday nights. People are wondering, why haven't AOP been on Monday Night Raw for the last month? Why haven't Sanity debuted on SmackDown Live? What's going on? I even seen people saying, you want to debut Sanity? Have them fuck the Money in the Bank ladder match. Have them just come in and cause chaos. That's what they're there for. Unadulterated destruction. I've always held on to one thing Triple H stated. Triple H stated he would never want to call up anybody. There's not a solid plan in place for them on the main roster. If there was no story to be told with them, they would not be called up. Because then it would just be all the hard work that they put into building these characters wasted away. Now, in April, following WrestleMania 34, we had the Superstar Shakeup. This was on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. A number of wrestlers switched brands. SmackDown Live obviously getting the best of the shakeup this year. High-profile moves included Jinder Mahal being drafted to Raw, if you want to call it that. He's a high-profile jobber in my eyes, still to this very day. Before he later lost that title, he was United States Champion, he lost that title to Jeff Hardy, who went to SmackDown Live the very next day. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn also switched brands from SmackDown to Raw after being fired by Commissioner Shane McMahon and failing to defeat him for their place on SmackDown Live at WrestleMania. The Miz was also once again moved as he left Raw and went to SmackDown Live. He joined Samoa Joe, Asuka, and Absolution. As well as drafting superstars between brands, the WWE Draft also presents an opportunity to call up performers from NXT. And that's exactly what happened here. The most exciting talent to appear on the main roster so far from NXT has obviously been Drew McIntyre. You could probably put Andrade Cien Almas in that list as well. Now, McIntyre made the jump from developmental to form a new partnership with Dolph Ziggler that has become easily the best thing on Monday Night Raw. But he's not the only person that was called up. Like I said, Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega made their debuts on SmackDown Live, and the former NXT champion looks very much at home so far in the ring on SmackDown Live. 2 NXT tag teams were also called up in April. The Authors of Pain made their debuts the night after WrestleMania, joining the Raw roster. A week later, Sanity became part of SmackDown Live from the shakeup. However, since their call-ups, neither AOP or Sanity have been featured on WWE television. Sanity, not at all. Authors of Pain, once or twice, and they haven't been seen again. It's been a month now since they've been featured on Monday Night Raw. Akam and Razor have since been seen twice on Raw, while Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, and Killian Dane, who's probably the most talented of Sanity, haven't actually been on SmackDown Live at all. Both AOP and Sanity were 2 of the most exciting teams in NXT, so it's very bizarre that neither have been involved on the main roster. But according to Dave Meltzer, there's a reason for that. He reported on Wrestling Observer Live that the reason neither have been used on television is because creative doesn't have anything for them. Because of that, AOP and Sanity are being kept off TV for the time being. It's understandable that WWE are building towards Money in the Bank, and a focus will be put on singles competitors rather than tag teams. I understand that. But following the pay-per-view in June, fans will be expecting to see AOP and Sanity regularly featured on Raw and SmackDown because they've waited long enough. AOP has worked their ass off in NXT. Sanity is a great group of guys that could really thrive in a stable-like environment on SmackDown Live. How do you have nothing for these guys creatively, and then people want to make fun of me about criticizing creative, right? They're making all this money. The product can't do no wrong. But when you got people feeble-minded running the company, making decisions like this, they might not be important to you, but to me, it's a waste of talent. I would never call anyone up if I have no plans to push them. Oh, they're making more money on the main roster. They're getting more exposure on the main roster. Really? I don't see them getting more exposure. That's a waste of fucking talent. That is an absolute waste of fucking talent. Authors of Pain should be dominating everybody on Monday Night Raw. Easily. Sanity? How you have nothing for them on SmackDown Live? Usos versus Sanity. You can put anybody versus Sanity. You can't use Killian Dane on SmackDown Live. You can't use Eric Young on SmackDown Live. I don't understand this. Like, why would you bother calling? Why would you take from NXT without giving them anything in return just to have these guys on the main roster and have them do nothing? If that's the case, I would have much rather them stay in NXT and be on television, adding more depth to that division and making that show better. Because all 5 guys can make a show better. The one thing that frustrates me as a fan is watching guys progress. And we watch them graduate from NXT to be put on these shows, and they're not used because they don't have a good look, because they don't have, charisma, or they're not exactly what WWE wants. Then why even employ them? Why waste our time? And you can see WWE on Monday Night Raw already stripped AOP of their fucking vests. I wonder why. They stripped them of their vests. They're just 2 big guys that come out wearing black t-shirts and black cargo pants. Meanwhile, these guys are dressed in riot gear. They got fucking masks on. They got knee pads on. Like they're ready to go to battle. WWE already stripped them of everything and gave them generic black fucking tank tops. What are they going to do with Sanity? What are they going to do with Sanity? They're going to strip Sanity's fucking shit away too? They're going to strip away the blackness and the smoke and the spotlights and the helicopters. They're going to strip that away too? Creative is garbage. Creative is fucking trash. Seriously. It's like me managing a fucking baseball team. Yeah, let me call him up. Let me call up our star prospect who's fucking batting .390, who's got 20 home runs and fucking 70 RBIs in AAA. Let me call him up and sit him on the fucking bench. Meanwhile, I got somebody, guy plays first base, right? You're going to call him up. Yeah, I'm going to play him over Freddie Freeman. Are you fucking kidding me? Get the fuck out of here, man. If you got no room for them, if you got no plans for them, then don't call them up. You gotta fix this. WWE needs to fix this. A team like the Revival, you're gonna call them up and do what you're doing with them now? That sits right with you. I dare anybody to watch that NXT TakeOver Toronto match and tell me that tag team wrestling isn't a thing that we would love to see on WWE television. WWE, and I don't care how good the Usos have been, or the New Day have been, and their matches have been. WWE has not produced a tag team match like that one in Toronto in I don't even know how long. And you mean to tell me, and I said this about Kota Ibushi and Cedric Alexander, you mean to tell me you're going to take that match from NXT TakeOver Toronto, put it on Monday Night Raw, and that's just not going to get over? That shit will get over. You're wasting top fucking talent. For what? For what? You have 3 hours of Monday Night Raw, and you can't fit the Authors of Pain in? You have no direction for the Authors of Pain? I don't get it. What are you waiting for Sanity to debut? What's the right time? According to what we see on television, there isn't a right time. The right time is going to be something generic and boring just to get them on television at this point. Creative's trash. But people complain, oh, what business is it of yours about creative? If you don't like what they're doing, don't watch. That means you're a feeble-minded fuck. And you have absolutely no opinion for yourself. You're a cocksucker. Just like the people that I mentioned yesterday in the video. WWE's making all this money. Are you seeing any of that money? What right is it of yours to care about how much money they're making? What business is it of yours as a fan to care about how much money they're making or how much Roman Reigns is selling t-shirts? Oh, he's selling t-shirts. He's over. Really now? From what I see, unless you're fucking deaf, he ain't over, motherfucker. He ain't over. Just like how WWE's making all this money, their bank account may be piling up the cash, but their shows are fucking horrendous. And if you don't see that, maybe you should get some fucking glasses, you fucking geek. Ridiculous. Getting the fuck out of here, man. I need a cold beverage. Thank you guys so much. I got more news coming tomorrow. We'll round out off the script. The Miz is the next WWE corporate puppet, even though I love The Miz, to back up why Roman Reigns is unfairly treated and why we should stop talking about Roman Reigns becoming a heel. Really? Really now? Also news on Bobby Lashley and Sami Zayn. WWE purposely made it bad. Or is WWE creative just fucking horrendous like I have stated for the last God knows how long? I think it's the latter. Thank you guys so much, man. Enjoy your Saturdays. Pop open a cold Guinness for me on this hot summer day. And I'll see you guys on Sunday with part 3 of Off the Script. I'll talk to you later.